The plot of the play Romeo and Juliet has been told in a serious and neat way, which makes it very suspenseful. Two rival families in Verona, the Montagues and the Capulets, are at the center of the story. The play starts with a fight between people from these two families. At some point, the prince has to step in to keep the fight from getting worse. The rest of the play is about Romeo and Juliet, two young people from different families who meet and fall in love. But their love can't last because their families hate each other. The teens fell in love as soon as they saw each other and planned to get married within hours of meeting. By any measure, this is a relationship that moves quickly, just like when the Capulets and the Montagues fight. Their passion flares up right away. Friar Lawrence tells Romeo that falling in love with someone right away might be dangerous. Even though it seems nice at first, he tells him to love in moderation and to act slowly and wisely. Do you think this advice is good? Or does Friar Lawrence just not get what's going on with Romeo? Does Friar Lawrence do anything to try to slow down the relationship between the young couple? Or does he just ignore his own advice? Later in the play, when Romeo and Juliet realize they will have to live without each other, their intense love turns into a deep sense of loss. Their feelings are so bad that they have to kill themselves. Do you agree that violent pleasures always end in violence, and that people who run quickly always fall? How true are these strong feelings and feeling overwhelmed to what it's like to be a teen? Have you ever thought that your love for someone else was the most important thing in the world? Has there ever been a time when you were so sad that you thought things would never get better, even though their families have been fighting for a long time? Romeo and Juliet fall in love. They can't get married because their families are always fighting, so they decide to kill themselves. They go together and can't live without each other. From the beginning of the play to the end, love and hate are linked in a way that can't be broken. So, it's reasonable to assume that the play is about both love and hate. Rosaline, the woman with whom Romeo seems to be in love, is cold and unresponsive, which makes Romeo feel sad. Romeo can't win her over because of this. Count Paris, who is a distant relative of the prince, is courting Juliet, who is from the Capulet family, even though she doesn't like him. In this kind of situation, Romeo and Juliet meet at a party and fall in love at first sight, which is a common part of Shakespeare's plays. They don't know that their families are in competition, and by the time they find out, it's too late for them to hide how they feel. When the party is over, Romeo finds Juliet's balcony outside her room and calls out to her. In the famous balcony scene, they tell each other they love each other and talk about their plans for the future. The lovers are being hurt by fate, so they turn to their friends for help. Romeo goes to see Friar Lawrence while Juliet asks her trusted nurse for help. Together with the main characters, these two helpers come up with a plan. And the next day, Romeo and Juliet quietly get married in the middle of a battle. When Tybalt and Romeo's allies fight, Tybalt kills Mercutio and is himself killed by Romeo. Because of this, Romeo is sent to Mantua. Then, on his way back to Verona, Romeo buys poison from a pharmacist and goes to the tomb of the Capulet family. When he goes into the tomb, he is shocked to see Paris. The fight is sure to happen, and Paris will be killed in the end. At the same time, Romeo doesn't hear Juliet's message about the future plan. So, when he finds Juliet sleeping as planned, he thinks she has died. He is in a bad way, and he ends up killing himself by taking the poison. When Juliet wakes up from her deep sleep, Romeo's dead body is next to her. She is so sad that she can't think straight and is looking for leftover poison. When she can't find any, Juliet takes Romeo's sword and puts it in her own heart. When Lord Montague, Friar Lawrence, and the prince go into the tomb, they find both Romeo and Juliet dead. Mercutio, Tybalt, Paris, Romeo, and Juliet all die at the end of the play. This is mostly because of the fight between the Capulets and the Montagues. The two families make up, knowing that their fight caused so much trouble and damage. In the end, the prince says, "There was never a story with more pain than this one of Juliet and Romeo."